A lawsuit settlement in Florida will allow students and teachers to openly discuss gender identity and sexual orientation as long as it's not part of classroom instruction. The deal limits the law critics have dubbed "Don't Say Gay." Opponents claim the legislation has created fear in schools and uncertainty over what is allowed. Our friend Jim DeFede with CBS News Miami joins us now to break down the details of the settlement. Jim, we always love having you on the show. Tell us more about what this settlement means for schools in Florida.
Well, it gives them some sort of clarity. Let's remember the context of this. This law was passed 2 years ago by the Florida legislature at a time, and it was one of the cornerstones of Governor Ron DeSantis's culture war battles they had hoped would propel him to the Republican nomination. After a poor showing in the Iowa caucus, of course, Governor DeSantis dropped out before the first primary. So now we're sort of dealing with the aftermath of many of those laws that were passed during that campaign. And so things we're seeing now is that there was a lot of fear among school districts as to what exactly the law meant. As you said, critics dubbed it "Don't Say Gay." In Florida, it's known as the Parental Rights and Education Law. And the law said that you could not have school instruction on heterosexuality, homosexuality, gender identity in K through 8 and in a very limited way in high school. The reality was those topics were never being taught as part of instruction in grade schools. And so what ended up occurring was you created a lot of fear among high schools and school districts in general to where could they say, for instance, could a teacher acknowledge that their spouse was gay? Could they display a picture of their loved ones, of their same-sex partner on their desk? Could there be a gay pride flag? If a student talked about, in a book report, or in some sort of presentation, what they did over the summer vacation, talk about their two mothers. These things were left very much in doubt. And there was a lot of fear among educators. So you had students, you had some teachers, you had some parents groups file a lawsuit against the state of Florida. And this settlement clarifies those issues. It says that all those fears do not need to be realized, that teachers can talk as long as it's not part of instruction and education. But if teachers want to talk about their personal lives as the part of the general discussion in class, that's fine. I'll also point out one other key thing, that the reaction to this was that, for instance, straight gay student alliance groups across the state of Florida all disappeared, in a large measure because of this law, because schools were afraid to allow and sanction meetings of those groups on school campuses because of the law, wondering if they were going to run afoul. Miami-Dade School District, which every year had always issued a proclamation in support of Gay Rights Month, Gay Pride Month. They didn't this past year because of fear that it may run afoul of the law. You saw those sorts of issues. Now, the governor would say that that was never his intention, but yet the fear was created as a result of the law. And this settlement now clarifies those things. The governor's declaring victory. Groups of parents and students and teachers are also saying they are relieved because they now understand what the law is and what the boundaries and rules truly are.
Jim DeFede, that was so
Succinct
excellent.
And brilliant.
Every question I had
Answered.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anytime.